Shri Ajay Sagan, Shri Bhimji, Srimati Sharma, Principal, other dignitaries who have joined the event, my dear students and teachers. A very warm good evening to all of you. It's indeed my pleasure to be associated with this event, and I'm really happy that Sri Ajay Sagar has done a fantastic job in organizing this competition in a very orderly manner, systematically going through a review process, and ultimately, out of 1,500 students, selecting a few who are toppers in this list. The toppers definitely needs to be congratulated, but at the same time, I've seen the wide variety of topics, starting from artificial intelligence to the genetic engineering and all the modern branches of science and technology. And it's heartening to note the youngsters are taking a lot of interest in this field and bringing out innovative ideas to the front. As you know, the science and technology is a cornerstone of modern civilization. Last 100 years, we have seen an explosive growth in the technology, and many of them disruptive technologies, so that something which was very popular and useful even 10 years back has been found to be discarded, and we have got modern substitutes for all those conveniences. So the advancement in the scientific knowledge and its application through technology by various teams have from all over the world has helped us to really achieve a unique position in the universe today. The living example of that is the COVID pandemic, how the world has handled. As you know, that nearly 100 years back, there was what is called a Spanish flu, which really attacked the global community, and nearly 1/3 of the population was lost over a period of 10 years. It took almost 10 years to bring it under control. But today, you have seen that within a year, the joint collaborative work by various laboratories using the modern tools of understanding the genomics and what type of modifications you can do, and the modern tools who are looking into the structure of the virus, and then how to really attack that using the vaccine developed by USA, UK, and India, Russia, and China. India can be really proud that within a very short time, our scientists have really come out with a solution. Really, not one. About half a dozen choices were before us. Out of the two of them have been selected. And today, in the country, more than 50% of our population have been given the first dose of vaccines. There's a huge number compared to what is done all over the globe. Nearly 50 crores of doses have been 50,000 people, 50 crores of people have been given the vaccination, and some of them 2 doses, and some of them in the first dose. So that shows that the technological growth in India and where we stand. Not to leave out what we have achieved in the arena of space, in the arena of agriculture, in the area of atomic energy, the missile technology, and so on. You know, India was a country which was importing food grains in the mid-60s. A team of scientists under Dr. Swaminathan has really come out with very innovative solutions for increasing the agriculture production. And that has really helped us to achieve self-reliance. Not only self-reliance, we are in a position to export food grains to the globe. Now, coming to the space, we started late compared to other developed countries. But at the same time, we have achieved a status today. Our technologies and our the findings are comparable to that of the developed countries. The living example is our mission to moon, the mission to Mars, and so on. In the mission to moon, it was our fortune to see that we declared for the first time there is water on the surface of the moon. Many missions from the advanced countries have gone there, but they missed this thing. But Indian scientists have really found out this. Similarly, Mars, we have got a very good pictures available. And soon we will have some lander and rover on the moon to take samples from the surface, analyze, and send back. So that shows it is all homegrown technology. The rockets which are required for it, like PSLV, GSLV, the satellites which are required for it, the ground station which is required for this. And all this have been developed with the help of the people who are educated and brought up in this country. Well, that shows that the strength of our education system. That too, we have built up within a very short time. When we got independence, there were very few universities, less than 50. Today, more than 300 universities are serving the country. Similarly, a lot of national laboratories have come up who are equipped to carry out advanced research in various fields. So that way we have shown to the world that a so-called poor country like India has emerged as one of the global leaders in science and technology. This shows that perhaps it is our heritage. Nearly 3,000 to 5,000 years back, a very fine civilization existed in the Indus Valley. And those people had the highest living standard in the globe. They knew many mysteries about the science and technology. They knew basics of astronomy, and they knew the basics of medicines, surgery, and even metals were separated from the ore by our own Indians. And that knowledge was passed on to the other countries. But of course, we had a dark era when the foreign invasion was there, starting from Alexander up to the British regime. And we were all in a dark era. We didn't make any progress. But once the freedom was given to us, our youngsters have risen up to the challenges, and they have really solved many of the problems, not only in fundamental sciences, but also the concept of applying the scientific knowledge for improving the quality of life of the people. Today, you look at the Indian scenario, we have got our spacecraft, telecommunication system, and all in place, which can detect cyclones about 48 hours in advance and make a prediction as to where the landfall is going to take place. So you take advanced action for evacuating this region, so the loss of life is minimized. In fact, even the recent cyclone which has hit the Orissa coast, the loss of lives is less than 10. Whereas similar events taking place in some other countries in Asia and even in US, hundreds of lives and even thousands of lives are lost in some of these occasions. So that shows how we have put to use this technology for really helping the society. Of course, we have made a tremendous impact in Earth observation, communication area. Today, connectivity, the whole country, spanning nearly 3,000 kilometers across, is connected not only through the fiber. Fiber came recently, but before that, using the satellites, and both these work in tandem to provide the connectivity to even the remote village in the country. So that way, a digital revolution has been brought in. Modi ji has really given thrust to how this modern technology can be used in practical life. And recent announcement about having a unified healthcare system by which everybody will be given an ID card, and using that, anywhere they can get access to the medical services and their records and so on. And that's only one example. Again, most of the money transaction, a bulk of that has been transferred to digital domain. So this all shows, the leadership. They set a goal and they want to see that is achieved by the scientists and technologists to serve the society. In fact, one of the deficiency what we have observed is in our education system. The education system, by and large, was examination oriented. People were trained to attend questions which was coming up at the end of the session, and they are to really answer yes or no type of question mostly, and some descriptive and so on, not using much of their intelligence. So to change this scenario, now the new the education policy has come in. They're not only grooming the children according to their taste and aptitude, but also providing practical skills. A person who is coming out of the secondary school should be employable. That's the kind of target he has set in. So he has set up what is called the adult tinkering laboratories in almost all the schools. So here, the children are allowed to go to this laboratory and freely experiment on whatever topics they like. So wetting their hands, that is a very, very important aspect. Unless the practical knowledge is there, you cannot really take up a job after leaving the. It's not only laboratory, but office work, management, or anything which you talk about. It requires a systematic training at the school level itself. Now, in the absence of this, many of these voluntary organizations have come forward and they have set up systems by which the practical training are offered to the how and why education system is one fine example of that. Sitting here in India, they are able to reach out to the school in Kenya and there train the children to various advanced topics like robotics or electronics or communication or software engineering and so on. This is really, and that too achieved within a very short span of time. Certainly, this is going to be the type of norm for the future where the young generation is going to be exposed to the advanced technologies. Now, this exposure to advanced technology is a must. We cannot live on the past glory. We cannot live that we have such as a thing and we can make use of them, have a leisurely life, and so on. If you had to progress, there has to be innovative ideas. You know, even when we were proud of the electromagnetic theory and the Newtonian physics and all those things, Einstein came forward saying that something beyond that is there. His findings related to the relation between matter and energy, that was really explosive. And he thought really out of the box in that context. Similarly, his other findings on the relativity and the movement of the galaxies, planets, and so on, these are all seeding. And maybe after it took almost 50 years to prove these things, to establish those facts. But his imagination stretched far beyond. This is what exactly is needed. And if you look at the history of science and technology, most of the innovations and inventions have come from youngsters, starting from the age group of 15 to 25. So that is the breeding ground. You prepare them and I'll give them a free hand to think out of the box and then try to see how best the existing system can be improved or what are the flaws in that, how it can be simplified, what new ideas can be brought in. You will come across a gold mine like the Einstein theory sometimes, but that is not the end of it. But today you see the web-based design, web-based education, especially in the COVID time, has really helped us to really bring in sort of it's a new norm for education itself. But of course, there are certain pitfalls and all those things. A mix of the classroom and the learning is going to be the norm for the future. Certainly, this is again the necessity arose because of the COVID situation, and people put their heads together, integrated the technology of internet communication, the video technologies, computer technology, all together, and the result is fantastic. You look at today's Zoom meeting itself. It is as though we are all sitting together at one place. So that kind of feeling is created, and certainly it can be exploited to a great extent. and life will become much simpler in the days to come. But the challenges are many. In the world today, if you look at it, the something like two-thirds of the population are living in a very poor conditions, especially in the African countries. Many of you may directly know that there is not enough food, there is not enough water, there is not enough healthcare, and so on. India is maybe slightly better off, and we have reached out to almost all villages with all these conveniences. But at the same time, we have to go a long way. The wealth is created through the business and other activities. But at the same time, making sure this wealth is percolating down to the poor and the needy, that is something a big challenge. You look around your own school or your own house, you will see hundreds of needs arising out of the actual people's meeting their day-to-day needs. So here, one should think how best solutions can be brought in. And I know, especially in the time of the green energy and so on, how to tap the solar energy to the maximum extent. That is one of the big challenge before us. Today, it is not very cost effective because the type of cells which is required and the equipments which are required are very sophisticated and expensive. The net result is, cannot be affordable for poor countries. But at the same time, if somebody can bring out solutions using the nanomaterials with more efficient cells and at lower cost, certainly is going to make a difference. Similar challenge is there for the storage devices. The sun is not there always, but you have to find how this kind of energy can be stored and then distributed at the other time. So that's again another area of challenge. Coming to the basic needs of drinking water, many places underground water is available, but they are not potable. How to make it potable is again a technology challenge. The Western countries have got their own reverse osmosis process or filtering techniques and so on. Again, very, very expensive. The water which comes out of that, it is much, maybe a liter will cost you almost $1 or so. So who can afford it? So here I have seen that in some of the schools and colleges in India, people have come out with some conventional solutions. In the Gujarat, for example, you get about 2 or 3 days only the rain. So the water is stored in the underground ponds. For purifying that, their traditional knowledge, many of them are not revealed totally, but still, like putting some lime into a packet and putting it there and using some special herbs and so on. So this keeps the water pure for throughout the year. This has been translated into practical projects by many of the students without any external power or anything. Just pour water at one top bottle, and at the bottom you get a clean water and so on. Again, in the healthcare, India is trying to see how this our traditional knowledge in the Ayurveda can be translated into the modern. So here, I think even today, more than 1/3 of the people in India practice the Ayurvedic medicines. But at the same time, like the allopathic medicine, etc., there is no systematic records. So that many people start doubting whether it is, even some say it is whether it is black magic. So the questions are to be answered. And the research in that area is very, very important. Trying to find out what are the molecules which are going to serve and how it can be formed into practical capsules or syrups and so on. And this is something which is the challenge before. So like that, if you look around, there are thousands of problems which you will come across. The children, they have to keep their eyes and ears open. They should not assume whatever they know today or what they see today is the end of the tunnel. So there is something beyond that. Can we find what that something is? Can we find some solutions using that? So that is a type of innovative thing. And in this process, you may destroy some of the old conventions and practices, but you should not care for it. As long as it is going to improve the quality of life of the people, that should be your motto. So education should be coupled with the inquisitiveness. Of course, your fundamentals should be strong. The physics, mathematics, chemistry, biology. These four subjects are the strong basis for it. You should take it very seriously. Now, this event, anyway, the organizers have already described. I'm very happy to see that very three bright young students have come up on the top of the list. And perhaps I could see the range of topics which is covered here. Uh, See, for example, the waterproofing of the bag. It may lead simple, but using an innovative technique of making that coating and so on, then I was really surprised to see that there are advanced companies only are working on the e-commerce, the electronic store, the website we created is very, very unique. Then similarly, of course, a model museum. We should preserve our traditional knowledge and so on. So these topics were selected out of this 1,500, and my heartiest congratulations, winners. And with your permission, I would read out the names of the winners. Nubay Bhaga, he is the first topper in the list, and solution is the waterproofing of the bag. And Mishika Vinesh Bhatti is a second place, who's got the electronic store software, and Neeta Richard Vashni is model museum is what is being awarded. Heartiest congratulations to all of you. At the same time, don't be disappointed. All other participants, the 1,500 participants, they have done also equally well. From the list which I see, the wide range of topics you have covered, what you have really learned out of the school, four walls of the school, is really very, very impressive. My heartiest congratulations. Keep it up. God bless you.